All right, let's just dive right into this lightning-fast explainer. We're stripping away all that extra fluff to get straight to the absolute core of cryptocurrency mining. If you already know your wallets from your blockchains, but you really want to understand the actual mechanics of mining, without drowning in a sea of confusing wikis, well, you're in exactly the right place.
So what we're doing here is distilling the absolute essentials from a massive reference book, Cryptocurrency Mining for Dummies by Peter Kent and Tyler Bain. These guys basically wrote this to break down a wildly complex, fiercely competitive industry into bite-sized pieces. And we're going to capture the absolute best of this entire book in 8 minutes or less. Consider this your ultimate crash course.
Now, here is the big question literally everyone asks at some point. Can you actually just print digital money right from your living room? People have this image of, plugging a laptop in on their coffee table and just magically generating wealth. But to answer that honestly, we've got to drop right into the fundamental mechanics of how digital wealth is actually created. And, spoiler alert, it takes a heck of a lot more than just a spare computer.
That brings us to Section 1. Welcome to crypto mining. To really grasp this digital world, we first have to ground ourselves in a very physical analogy. Think about it like this. Because there's no central bank printing new digital coins, the whole system relies on miners to bring new currency into circulation. It's exactly like unearthing physical gold to introduce it into the economy, except crypto mining uses intense computational work to unlock uncirculated digital assets and, crucially, establish trust. In gold mining, you've got physical labor, literally digging in the dirt. In crypto, the system has a preset coin issue schedule. Miners do the heavy digital lifting, and when they succeed, bam, they're rewarded with brand new cryptocurrency. It's the exact same principle. Just, without the gap-toothed prospectors and the donkeys.
Moving right along to Section 2, how the magic works. We need to look at what the miner is actually doing day to day. Because they aren't just minting money, they are the absolute backbone of the network security.
So it all boils down to 3 crucial steps. Your hardware is constantly out there verifying real-world transactions. Then it bundles them up into blocks, and finally, it races to solve some insanely complex mathematical puzzles. Think of it as a massive stamp of authenticity. A miner verifies that the person sending the crypto actually has the funds and signed off with their private key. Then they group those verified transactions together. But here's the catch. To actually add that block to the permanent ledger, they have to win an incredibly high-stakes race.
And that cryptographic puzzle? That's what we call proof of work. It's literally the magic glue that ensures everyone on a decentralized network agrees on the correct ledger, completely bypassing the need for a central bank. This is what makes the whole system trustworthy. By forcing computers to expend massive amounts of energy and computational effort, the work, it makes it financially impossible for bad actors to fake transactions. Basically, the system pays everyone to behave correctly and financially ruins anyone who tries to cheat.
All right, Section 3, solo, pool, or cloud. Once you understand the work, you've got to choose how you actually want to jump in. You basically have 3 main flavors to choose from here: going it entirely alone, teaming up to share the pie, or just paying someone else to handle the messy hardware. If you solo mine, sure, you keep 100% of the block reward. But honestly, finding a block on your own these days is incredibly rare. It's like finding a needle in a digital haystack. That's why the authors highly recommend pool mining to get your feet wet. You combine your computing power with thousands of other people, and when your pool wins a block, you get a proportional cut of the reward. Now, cloud mining is totally hands-off. You just throw money at a company to do it for you, but you really have to do your homework there to avoid getting scammed.
Now, let's talk hardware in Section 4, gathering your mining gear. If you decide to build your own setup, you really need to grasp the physical realities of what you're doing here.
You are essentially building an industrial operation. Sure, you obviously need those heavy-duty processing chips and a secure wallet for your private keys, but please never ever forget the silent killers of a home mining operation, the desperate need for cooling, massive ventilation, and rock-bottom electricity rates. These machines run 24/7 at absolute maximum capacity. They spit out incredible amounts of thermal heat and suck up power like you wouldn't believe. Without dedicated power delivery units and serious industrial-grade air conditioning, you're literally going to melt your gear or worse, start a fire in your house. Just to put this into perspective, some of these big global mining farms use more electricity than entire small countries. It is wild.
Which naturally brings us to Section 5. Is it worth it? Let's get real and talk mining economics. It is not just about flipping a switch and watching coins roll in. It is a harsh economic reality. Before you buy a single piece of hardware, you have to look in the mirror and ask,
How am I going to calculate my edge in a fiercely competitive global landscape? You have to run the numbers. Are you just a hobbyist messing around, or are you trying to build an actual commercial enterprise?
Because your potential return on investment, it is constantly under attack. You're fighting expensive utility bills, hardware depreciation, and the fact that those cryptographic puzzles are constantly getting harder. Plus, the crypto market is famous for wild, stomach-churning price swings. And as more miners join the network, the proof-of-work puzzle automatically cranks up the difficulty, meaning your shiny, expensive hardware becomes less and less effective over time. Oh, and you also have to navigate things called fork wars, where blockchains literally split in two. Pick the wrong side to mine, and your efforts are completely worthless. Honestly, the authors make a great point. If you run the math and your local electricity is just too expensive, you might actually be way better off just buying the crypto directly from an exchange.
So you really have to carefully weigh the risks against the rewards here. Secure that cheap power, define your goals, and decide if you want to wrangle physical hardware or just join a pool. Ultimately, it leaves us with a fascinating question. In a system that was specifically designed to be decentralized, does the future of digital wealth belong to everyone, or does it just belong to whoever happens to have the cheapest electricity? If you enjoyed this, subscribe to In 8 Minutes and never miss what matters.